Hello guys, let's have a look on one of the best builds in Windrose for early to mid game. First, let me showcase how this build actually works. So, at the beginning of the fight, I shoot the target with the Drake's double barrel pistol, which will apply a vulnerability mark on the target, making it take 15% bonus damage from all sources. Then, I'm using the Rapier of 1000 cuts until I apply the 5 bleeding stacks. And finally, I swap to my Sturdy Rapier, which scales a lot better with my attributes and deals a lot more damage with the regular hits than the Rapier of 1000 cuts. Basically, once you have applied the 5 bleeding stacks, it is best to swap to any other weapon, since they will deal more damage with their basic attacks. Of course, this was the mid-game build, since it requires you to have 3 ascended weapons, but you can start with the blue variation as well. So, for the blue weapon variation, you can ignore the gunshot at the beginning, since it will not apply the vulnerability stack, but I recommend to start using the pistols, since if you use a one-handed weapon, it allows you to equip the pistol at the same time. An additional gameplay tip, right here you can see the passive reload time for your guns. If you didn't already know, guns will reload passively while you are in mid-combat. Then again, try to apply the bleed stacks with 1000 cuts and then swap to Sturdy Rapier. Even on its blue variation, Sturdy Rapier scales better with precision, so after applying the 5 bleeding stacks, there is no reason to keep attacking with the 1000 cuts. Additionally, the Sturdy Rapier will give you better chances to perfect block enemy attacks, and each time you do a perfect block, the enemy will lose one of these shields, and once they lose all of them, the target will get stunned. For my attributes and talents for the early level 6, I will show you 2 different paths that you can follow. The first one is the safe one and works best in the early game. I pick the Marathon Runner for extra stamina, and then I go above it for the Outnumbered, which will give us up to 10% bonus damage boost when fighting multiple opponents, which is almost always. The final goal is to reach the Stout Frame for the maximum HP increase. Imagine that every HP block is around 180 HP, so this one will give you a whole block on its first level. Now, the second path that you can take is best for the maximum damage. You can go for the surgical cuts for a small amount of critical strike chance, but even to my surprise, with such a low critical chance, you can actually crit and deal very serious damage. For the next talent, all 3 choices are very good. The safest choice is the quick strikes for more base damage, perfect counter if you are utilizing the perfect block mechanic, and duelist if you are up against a boss. Remember that you can reset these talents anytime you want and adjust them accordingly. And finally, you can go for the deadly finale that will boost your damage with your consecutive hits. As for the attributes, I figure out that each point will give us around 2% bonus on its corresponding stats, so I figure out that going for anything else than this scaling damage isn't that good after all. So I put all my points into precision to make my rapiers and guns deal more damage. Lastly, to boost your HP as much as possible, you will have to use foods that also gives you bonus vitality. The best option for the early to mid game is the seafood platter, which will unlock after killing the first boss. This one alone will give you 20 bonus vitality, which is quite huge, and then both fish and toaststones and spicy chicken can be used as secondary for the extra 10 vitality. If you are even earlier in the game than that, you can use anything that gives you additional vitality. The best armor for this build will be the Filibuster set, which will give you 15 bonus damage with one-handed weapons on its full set. And with that, we pretty much cover everything about this build. I hope you guys enjoyed this video. Leave a sub if you wanna see more builds like this one for Windrose. Thank you for watching, have fun playing, and see you on the next one.